mọi người đến với Vela Podcast. Đây là một podcast chuyên chia sẻ về nhiều vấn đề quanh việc du học, học tập và cuộc sống tại nước ngoài của các du học sinh, đồng thời là cựu học sinh tại Vela. Mục đích của podcast là cung cấp những thông tin thực tế nhất đến các bạn đang quan tâm đến việc du học để các bạn có cái nhìn khách quan hơn và chuẩn bị cho hành trình du học của riêng mình. Podcast sẽ được phát hành 9 giờ tối thứ Hai và thứ Sáu hàng tuần. Nếu các bạn có bất kỳ câu hỏi nào cần Vela giải đáp, hãy điền thông tin vào form trong phần mô tả nhé. Không biết là mọi người còn nhớ series giới thiệu các trường đại học tại Mỹ của Vela không ha? Thì Vi cũng biết là series này, cái tập cuối cùng nó đã là từ 1 tháng hơn trước rồi. Và hôm nay thì Vela Podcast đã quay trở lại với một trường đại học mới toanh, đó là Đại học Gettysburg. Thì đây là một trường đại học thuộc hệ khai phóng tại Mỹ. Và hy vọng là các bạn sẽ cùng nghe mình và thầy Zach trò chuyện cùng nhau và hiểu thêm những cái thông tin cơ bản về đại học này nếu như bạn hứng thú với lại hệ thống giáo dục khai phóng cũng như là đi du học Mỹ nhé.
So I'm really happy to have Mr. Jack here to introduce Gettysburg College to our Vietnamese students today in our podcast series. And hi!
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so first of all, can you introduce yourself a little bit, like some basic information about you?
Yeah, so my name is Zach De Besche. I am an admissions counselor at Gettysburg College, and I'm part of the international team, and my territory is Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, as well as a few U.S. states in the northeast part of the U.S. I'm originally from near Boston, Massachusetts, and I graduated from Gettysburg as well. I'm an alum. I graduated last year in the class of 2022. I was a music and environmental studies double major. And yeah, I had a great time doing that double major. And yeah, I also, just some other things about me. I live in Gettysburg now. I love to run in the battlefields, enjoy the nature around the Gettysburg campus, and I love talking and meeting new students, especially Vietnamese students.
Thank you. It's so fascinating to hear the introduction. So I think that we can talk about like some basic information about studying at Gettysburg. The first topic is about location and student life. I think like most people, especially parents, they really care about it before sending the children into like abroad to study. So first of all, can you briefly describe the location of Gettysburg College?
Yes, so we are on the east coast of the U.S., in Pennsylvania, sort of south central Pennsylvania. We are about an hour and a half from Baltimore, an hour and 45 minutes from Washington, D.C. So we're a bit north of there, about 2.5 hours west of Philadelphia, and about 4 hours south of New York City. So that's where we are sort of geographically. The town of Gettysburg, it's a lovely town. We get a lot of visitors through the town. It's a world famous town historically. The Battle of Gettysburg was one of the most important battles of the Civil War, and the location of Gettysburg is kind of unique in that we are sort of rooted in that history, and definitely embedded within the town of Gettysburg, and then surrounded by some beautiful fields. There is a large amount of land that is preserved as the battlefield, so it looks like it did 150 years ago when the Battle of Gettysburg happened. So that's a very cool aspect to our location as well. And there's, you can find anything you really need in Gettysburg. It's not a large city, but it has all different stores, different amenities, grocery stores, movie theaters, all that kind of thing.
Also, I think that Gettysburg must be like really rich in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So is it convenient for a student to get access, to other entertainment facility or to get into like the center, town or city center?
Absolutely. So Gettysburg is basically a part of the town. We aren't separated in any way with any like walls or fences or have a campus that is far away from the town center. It is a short 5-minute walk from the center of campus to the center of Gettysburg, the town. It's very easy to access. There's a grocery store walking distance in town. There's pharmacies. There's a movie theater that also doubles as performance space for some of our Gettysburg College ensembles like orchestra, choirs, wind symphony, things like that. There are also a lot of different great little stores, fun gift shops, but also some nice bakery. There's a nice cafe where you can hang out and study. A lot of students like to do that as well. That place is called Waldo's. That's also a community arts center. It's quite easy to get around, and we're very much a part of the town, as I said. Also, Gettysburg College students, they have their IDs, and those also double as bus passes to the local bus system. So Gettysburg College students can use that for free, and that can take them out to, maybe 10-minute, not even 10-minute drive from campus to the sort of larger stores like a Walmart. There's a larger movie theater out there as well as some other chains, restaurants, and other grocery stores as well. So yeah, it's very accessible.
I see. So I have one follow-up question. What students at Gettysburg College often do at the weekend?
There is a lot going on all the time. Gettysburg students, they definitely don't go home. Like the students from the domestic students, they are staying on campus. Everyone is on campus all the time. And there are usually many events on campus going on. There'll be musical performances, people will be playing sports, or going to watch those sporting events. Also, we have a large number of clubs, and they run many events that happen on the weekdays and on weekends. Also, students, are just hanging out, going to the dining hall, studying, or reading a book, or relaxing outside on some of the lawns when the weather is nice. There's lots of nighttime events that are parties thrown by different organizations and groups, different kinds of workshops as well. Sometimes lecture series, guest lecturers come in on the weekends too. So there's a lot going on. And also, sometimes students go to see movies, or sometimes are able to go to Washington, D.C. or to Baltimore on the weekends, and to go see a sporting event there, or to go to a museum, or go shopping, things like that.
Oh, I see. So, do you think how is the student life at Gettysburg?
I mean, to just basically continue what I was talking about, it's very vibrant. People are very engaged in many different things. The average student is part of at least 3 different clubs during their time, and are usually at some point involved in a leadership position in those clubs. And that could be, an academically focused club, or a more lighthearted, fun club. But the student life is very social. Everyone lives on campus all 4 years, so you're going to be around all of your friends that you've made. There's going to be ways for you to engage with the community on campus, but also volunteer opportunities to engage with the local Gettysburg town community as well. And yeah, it's really fun. I'd say, as a former student, you're always walking around, seeing people and sort of spontaneously going and joining people for different things. Or you have a very regimented schedule of things that you have planned out and want to do. And we have a great like athletic facility as well for students who enjoy to work out, use the gym or things like that. So yeah, there's a really great amount of resources to keep that balance between studying and working hard, but then also those things that you need to keep that balance in your life.
Oh, thank you. So since Gettysburg is like a liberal arts college, so it's made like the number of students not that large compared to other university. So one question is that is the student body like really diverse, and how many countries are there have students attending in Gettysburg right now?
We have we have 50 countries represented on our campus, and our diversity wise, we are about 13% international students, and 22% domestic students of color altogether. So that's almost 30% of our student body is international or domestic students of color, and that's a significant proportion of the community. And so that community is really present on campus. There's lots of events and different cultural clubs associated with those. But we also, it's a very welcoming campus. It's a place where exposing yourself to meeting different people from different backgrounds, getting out and engaging and collaborating with people from all over the world and all over different parts of the United States as well. It's a great place, and we always can I think work on being more diverse, but it's going in the right direction. I think we've really been working on growing our international population, and that's been going pretty well.
So in terms of the number of Vietnamese students, how many Vietnamese students are there in Gettysburg now?
Including the class of 2027, who is going to be arriving next month in August, there's going to be 93 Vietnamese students on campus. So there's already 58 on campus, and then this incoming class, it has 35 Vietnamese students. So that's definitely our largest proportion of international students in between all of the different countries that are represented. Vietnam has the most students on campus.
That's so interesting to hear about. So what do you find the most interesting thing about Vietnamese students?
I think from the Vietnamese students that I've met when I was a student, and now Vietnamese students who I've gotten to interview and see as part of the application process this past year, Vietnamese students are so excited to be a part of things, and I really love that they're I think a lot of the students I've met are so interested in making an impact in the community, engaging in things and finding their passion, making and that's making that what they're going to be successful in, and on campus those are excellent qualities to have to thrive at Gettysburg. And overall, I've just been very impressed with the sort of scope of different projects or different kinds of academic endeavors or extracurricular endeavors that the Vietnamese students have done in high school and do on campus. It's a great community and very outgoing community on campus.
Because for Vietnamese students like us, it's very important to keep our cultural identity. So during your time working at Gettysburg College, how Vietnamese students spread the culture, the Vietnamese culture around the campus?
So we do have a Vietnamese student association as one of our clubs, and they, along with some of the other Asian student clubs, every year they throw an event that's, I think it's in mid-autumn, and it's like the Harvest Festival, something along those lines. Yes, the Mid-Autumn Festival. That's a great, it's a collaboration between different Asian student communities, which is a great way. And I've attended multiple of those. They're so really fun events, and you get sort of, as someone who is not from there, the exposure to those different cultures, different foods. And then also one of the best events, I think, every year is this event called Bergburst. And that happens every December. That's planned by the International Club, and really highlights many different cultures and all of the different countries represented at Gettysburg. But when I was there this past year, I got to try some really great Vietnamese food, and there was some Vietnamese students read some poetry that they had written, and overall, it was just an overflowing amount of pride in their country, and that goes for all the different countries as well.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
I think that is enough information for the student life. And next we're going to talk about the academic aspects at Gettysburg. So, which major that Gettysburg is specialized in or has high rank for its quality?
Yeah, so we have a number of the most popular majors. Our most popular major in the class of 2022 was political science. And then right under that is economics, along with mathematical economics. Those are sort of two of the biggest ones, along with also business, our business organizations and management major. Those are three of the most popular, but also we are very popular with STEM, biology, chemistry. We have a biochemistry and molecular biology major. That's all one major. It's very intense, but a lot of great research goes on in all of these majors, but it's very scientifically intense in those STEM majors. And then also one degree, or it's actually 2 degrees that I'd like to highlight, is our dual degree engineering program. And that is in collaboration with a number of other universities that we have a partnership with. The way that works is usually it's 3 years at Gettysburg and then 2 years at whichever other institution you choose, one of those partner institutions. And then at the end of that, you will have two degrees, one in whichever degree you have you chose at Gettysburg. Many students choose physics, but it could be any different number of majors as long as you fulfill the requirements for the engineering degree. And then you'd also have an engineering degree from that other university. And those other universities are Washington University, Columbia University, University of Pittsburgh, and also the Rochester Polytechnic Institute. So that's a really cool program that lots of students, also it's a little bit flexible. You could do 4 years, you get to 3 years. Some students say, I want to finish my time at Gettysburg and then go on and apply to a master's degree program or do another degree at another institution. So that's a very cool partnership that we have. And we have over 65 different majors, minors, and other academic programs. So there's a lot to choose from, and the ones I mentioned, are some of the most popular ones. Also, psychology is definitely up there. in popularity, but you can have any number of combinations. Many students, I believe over 40% of students double major, but also you can have, one major, you can have 2 minors or 3 different minors, and really find exactly what you want to study. And there's so many cool combinations available to you. Also, as part of that, one of the reasons that it's so easy to do is our advising program. You'll get advisors in whichever academic programs you're a part of. And then also you don't have to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year, until the end of your second year. And so you really have time to explore different facets of the different majors and departments at Gettysburg. And that's not to say that time is wasted at all, because there are other requirements, general requirements that all students need to fulfill. So you can find classes that fulfill those categories. And then maybe through taking a class like, that sounds interesting, maybe that becomes your second major or a minor of yours or something like that. So the options are truly yours for the choosing.
Because you mentioned that like 40% of students do double major, so is it like tight schedule if students decide to do double major? In my experience and what I've heard from other students, it is not usually very difficult to do a double major, primarily because you will have an advisor in each of your majors when you double major. So those professors, those advisors really help you figure out how to craft your schedule in exactly the right way to make it easy to finish in 4 years with 2 different degrees. Even with degrees that are very different and don't overlap. I know actually 2 of our international students, one from Turkey and one from Nepal, they both are music and computer science double majors. And so there are no overlapping classes with those 2 majors, but the amount of classes you have to take and the flexibility of everyone's schedule really makes it quite easily, quite accessible to do a double major. Oh, nice. So, is Gettysburg a research-oriented or a career-oriented university?
Absolutely. So I would say yes to both of those. Research is a part of everything that students do from the moment you're on campus taking classes, from those first classes. It's a part of the curriculum. In your first semester, you'll take a class called a first year seminar to get you sort of introduced to the college academic rigor, to help introduce you to how to do research, how to use the library's resources to do that research, things like that, and how to write research papers. So we want to get you up to speed on that right away, because in all of the departments you are going to be doing research, either group research or independent research for papers or group projects. And that can mean different things. That kind of research can mean different things for different departments. Obviously, in chemistry, you're going to be doing that scientific research. You're going to be in the lab performing experiments, doing things like that, or also collaborating with professors in their labs. That is also an option for students, especially over the summers. There are lots of opportunities for STEM research to happen. We have a program called XSIG, which stands for the Cross-Disciplinary Science Institute at Gettysburg. And every summer, a number of different professors they accept applications from students to work in their lab as assistant researchers, basically, and you get paid a stipend to be a part of that program. You live on campus and you are doing research. You're basically a professional scientist already at that point. And then, it's usually a very small cohort, a professor with like maybe 4 students in their lab. And so you get to know that professor really, really well. And often those relationships lead to further student-faculty collaborations later in your career at Gettysburg. Even some research assistant positions as a part-time job while on campus during the semesters as well. So there's lots of great opportunities there, but also for our humanities or our non-lab based research. We have something called the Colby Fellows, which is focused on the humanities in whatever aspect that means to you, and you apply to that and also get a stipend to perform research. And then also through our library, we have a program called the Digital Humanities Fellowship, and that's also during the summer. You live on campus and work with the library, doing sort of that like digital research, and it's interesting. It gets into that like librarian kind of thing as well. And then also many students, I mentioned studying on campus, doing research on campus, but sometimes professors either will have students do research on trips outside of the US or within the US, but off campus. One of our environmental studies professors, her name is Dr. Tasha Ganaris, and she every summer takes 2 students to an island in the state of Maine to study puffins, like the birds puffins, and they live in like a little sort of like hut, a little house on this island for also like 8 weeks and doing research. They're in the field, they're working directly with and collecting data. There's also, I know, 2 different biology classes. You go to, one of them goes to the Bahamas in the summer. That's the marine biology class. And you're taking that class all of the spring semester. And then you go as a class to the Bahamas and do research on coral reefs. And another biology class goes to the Amazon in the summer as part of their curriculum. So there's lots of really cool opportunities for research all over the place at Gettysburg. And then career-wise, research even plays into being prepared, being a good candidate for jobs. In that even before graduation, people are applying to jobs. But we have a great office called the Center for Career Engagement. They're open to all students, including first years. You can meet with them and work on your resume, work on cover letters for applying to internships or jobs. You can, they have interview rooms as well, like private spaces if you need to not be in your dorm room to do a Zoom interview or something like that. And then they also hold career fairs, often bringing in lots of alumni, Gettysburg College alumni from all different companies who really, really want to help out current Gettysburg students, whether they're about to graduate and they want to hire them or they want them to do an internship over the summer. There's lots of really great support there for that career. And 98% of our students within 12 months of graduating are either employed full-time or in graduate school. So we have a great record there. And also many of our students are working for organizations like NASA or Google, Deloitte, Under Armour, as well as, any other huge number of smaller, lesser known organizations and jobs.
That's so good. I think as students who are interested in research, we love the piece of information on the research programs that you mentioned before. So, one question, can you share some career outcome on recent graduate class at Gettysburg? I think preferably from class of 2022.
Yes. Well, as a member of the class of 2022, I can say I have I'm doing well in my career. I've landed a job here at Gettysburg, but I actually recently saw one of my friends from the class of 2022. She is at graduate school at Emory University. And she is doing like virology, sort of epidemiology work, and she just finished a 6-month fellowship at the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, in I believe that is in Georgia, the state of Georgia. She did a fellowship there and is continuing to do her graduate research with the help of members of the CDC. So that's a really interesting story. And she was working on, I believe, research on respiratory illnesses and how they can prevent those, help prevent homeless people from contracting respiratory diseases, and how homelessness and illness sort of go together in their relationship. So really interesting research there. And then let's see, another outcome recently, I know another member, class of 2022, he was a computer science major. His name is Tristan, and he now works for a casino near Philadelphia, and he does like all the behind the scenes like data work for them. Really enjoys his job. I just talked to him the other day, and he had that job, I believe, lined up before he even graduated. So he was walking across the stage at graduation, knowing like, oh, in a month, like I know I'm moving to Philadelphia. I will be fine. Like I'll have a job, and I'm ready to get started on my career. And that's not uncommon. Many students are receive that job offer before they graduate, and then move directly on, and they're ready to jump right in, or to go on to graduate school as well. So there's students are doing quite well, as I said, 98%. That's definitely true for the class of 2022 as well.
The outcome is pretty impressive. Like some students also like enter the industry pretty early before their graduation. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Như vậy là những thông tin cơ bản như location, students life, academic đã được thầy Zach giới thiệu rất là kỹ tại phần 1 này. Và nếu như bạn vẫn tò mò muốn hiểu thêm về hoạt động ngoại khóa cũng như là những phẩm chất mà Đại học Gettysburg đang tìm kiếm ở một sinh viên, thì hãy đón chờ phần thứ 2 của chúng mình nhé. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở phần 2.